is a dream, time like a stream carries our burdens away. Never despair, joys everywhere. Love can befriend you today. Free from all care, like birds on the air, soar above griefs and worries, seek joy and be gay. Often on earth, things of great worth, worldly ambitions defy. Sometimes a friend helps us ascend up from life's cares to the sky. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh.
Life is a dream, time like a stream carries our burdens away. Never despair, joys everywhere. Love can befriend you today. Free from all care, like birds on the air, soar above griefs and worries, seek joy and be gay. Often on earth, things of great worth, worldly ambitions defy. Sometimes a friend helps us ascend up from life's cares to the sky. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh. Love is a star, though shining afar. It can guide us and help us toward light to draw nigh.
God in heaven sending Narada down to earth to find who the real devotees were. And Narada came down, and he met many devotees, and he wrote down all the names of these great devotees. And then finally he came upon an old man. He was 85 years old. And he said, "Oh, you've been meditating a long time." "Yeah, I've been meditating 65 years. And he said, "Well, this is great, 65 years of sadhana." He wasn't thinking wisely at 65 years. What's that in eternity? But he said, "Oh, well, I'm here from heaven, and I've brought a message. I brought a mission from God to try to find all the devotees in this world." "Oh, you have you? Then why ask your Lord when you go back why he hasn't come to me?" Well, Narada was a bit shocked at this one. And he said, "I've been meditating for 65 years and still he hasn't come." And Narada thought, well, that really isn't very kind of God. And so he went on. He wrote this man's name down at the top of the list. He thought, this is a devotee. And then he saw a young man who was a little drunk. He'd been drinking a bit too much. And he was trying to put a post in the ground. He was making a fence. And he just couldn't quite hit that hole in the ground. And as he was waving around, he was cursing God. "Why don't you come and help me like this?" And Narada was shocked. And he thought, nobody speaks to God like this, blaming God for your own drunkenness and asking God to come when you're not even fit to go to the church and meditate and pray. And so anyway, he stopped because he was charged with the mission of speaking to everybody who called God's name. And so he stopped and talked to this man, although with a sinking heart. And the man said, "Oh, you're from heaven, are you? Well, then when you get back, for God's sake, please come. Please tell him to come. I keep calling him and he doesn't come." And Narada was scandalized that this man should presume that God would even think of coming to him. But anyway, he said, "All right, I've promised to tell him, so I will." So he went back and he read this long list of people, and then he came to this hoary old hermit and started talking about him, and God said, "Well, it's strange, I don't know him. Lord, I sometimes wonder about you. How come you don't know somebody who's been calling your name 65 years? His name is," and he's repeated it, "I'm sorry, I don't know his name. It's not written in my heart." And then he said at the very end of his long list, he started to talk about this drunkard. "Oh, yes, I remember. I know him." "Lord, you know him and you don't know him?" The Lord said, "Well, just go down and try something for me. You'll understand." He said, "Tell each of them that I will come, but only after I have finished passing elephants through the eye of a needle." And so he went to the hermit and he said that God will come, but only after he's finished his present job of passing a whole herd of elephants through the eye of a needle. And the hermit said, "Who ever heard of passing elephants through the eye of a needle? Goodbye, God, and all your crazy crowd. I've wasted 65 years. I'm going back to enjoy myself for the few years I have left." And Narada was very distressed to hear this. And then he went and he saw this young man who was a little drunker than ever and working on the second pole only. And as soon as he saw Narada, he dropped his pole and ran over with open arms and embraced him. He said, tell me, my lord, what has he said?" And Narada said, "Well, he's busy right now with a job he's taken on of passing a herd of elephants through the eye of a needle. But as soon as he's finished, he'll come." And the young man said, "Oh, he who could pass worlds through the eye of a needle in an instant must be already ready to come." And he started dancing, and he took Narada by the hand and danced, and suddenly they found that God was dancing in their midst.
This is such a beautiful story. And I think the moral of it is just have joy in your heart all the time. What does it matter if you find God now or later or whatever it is? But everything we do is bringing God to us, and it's so much joy. You listen to the laughter there at the talk of Swamiji's at Ananda, and how Swamiji so enjoyed telling that story and everything. He was full of joy. And at the end of his life, I remember him saying, I'm mainly in bliss now. And I think if we go around just, and how long is it going to take? And how come I'm not meditating well, and nobody thinks about me, and on and on. And Swamiji said there was this woman who came to Master, and she lived there for a short time. She was just so heavy. She wore black every day and had big beads, and it was just dragging around. And he said she didn't last hardly a week or so. But it's just like all the time you have to feel a joy is with me. God is with me. And that's the most important thing. And if you feel that, then I think you're at least halfway there. So I want to start with from a reading from this wonderful book, Visits to Saints of India by Swamiji. It's very brief, but Master said, very few saints have attained final liberation. And Swamiji asked, what about all those saints in the autobiography? Are all of them dead and no one else to replace them? And he says, in autobiography, Master makes it clear that final liberation is usually attained from higher astral worlds and not from this material plane. It seemed to me, however, on hearing the statement, that this highest goal must be virtually impossible of attainment. And yet, interestingly, as I have quoted him in another of my books, The Path, he told us in either 1948 or 49 during the Christmas meditation at Mount Washington, of those present, there will be a few siddhas, fully liberated souls, and quite a few Jivan Muktas, free in God, though with some past karma still to work out. We have to realize that it's not a game, and it's not something, if you're an athlete, then you just keep running till you find God. Everyone has their own karma. Everyone's, if we're trying our best with Master's grace and all that, we just have to realize that it's working. And Master gave a formula for how to move forward on the path, how to find God in your heart and your soul and your mind. And it's not about competition, and it's not about name and fame and my position and who I am and how long I've been meditating, my God, and how many hours a day. It just gets to be too much about the person. And Master, he didn't like people heaving and hawing about, oh, my karma, my karma. I said, when will I ever find God? He would say, you have him. Just think right now, you have him. He's breathing in you. He's speaking in you. He's singing in you. He's dancing in you. He's loving you. He's everything that you wouldn't be alive without him. You just have to improve your knowing. And as Master wrote, he said rather that self-realization is the knowing in all parts of body, mind, and soul that we're now in the presence of God, that his omnipresence is our omnipresence. We just have to improve our knowing. And that improvement of knowing comes from everything that we're doing on the path. But even Master, when he had his first deep experience with Swami Sri Teswarji Samadhi, afterwards, and it didn't take him long afterwards, he said some time later, he said, but Guruji, I don't think I've found God yet. And Swami Sri Teswarji said, what are you looking for? Of course you found God. And he said, oh, I see, you're looking for phenomena. You think finding God is having powers. And he said, let me tell you that finding God is joy, ever new joy. When you feel that joy inside of yourself, and when you feel his presence, even in the details, then you know that you have found God. And we're headed that way, even if you're not there. So what? Just keep moving in that direction. The Master said it takes very, very, very good karma to even want to know God. And he said, I'll give you lots of my good karma so that you can get there all the way. And I remember Swamiji told us, someone asked him, well, have you seen God? And he said, well, I feel him with me all the time. What else is there to do or see? And it's really the truth. If you just every day, just try to feel God's presence there, and don't look for some outer experience or outer phenomena or something that's outside of yourself. God is inside of us. And for all of us, we have to just realize, am I loving God more? Ask ourselves, am I wanting his presence more than anything else in my life? Or are my desires and attachments less? Am I uplifted as I feel his presence and guidance? And do I feel God's love in my heart? Do I feel like weeping for God at different times? Do I call his name? All of these are surely ways to tell us that, yes, we're heading in the right direction. Sometimes it seems like it's a long path. Sometimes it seems like it's a short path. And I remember in The Path, the book, The Path, Swamiji said, when you get so far on the path, then it's just like finding God. It's just a step away. And I love to keep that in mind. It's like a step away, but it could be a big step. It could be a little step, but it's a step. Once you get to the point, you have a guru, you're doing the teachings, you're serving, you're in good company and good environment, satsang, you've got Kriya Yoga, you have all the gurus, my God, guiding you. What more do you need? And if it doesn't happen now, it'll happen at some point. And I think we just have to be always uplifted and positive that our guru, he came to help us to find God. He came to bring us to God. And that's what we have to keep in mind, that reality is always there. And It's one point or another. It's up to the guru, really. I mean, people try to be their own guru and say that this means this and this means that. It's really, you don't know what your karma is. There's mountains of karma probably. But Master did say, I mean, he was always very positive. He was always encouraging, always wanting people to be positive about it. And he himself said, I was quoting from the Gita, I love this one. He quoted Krishna saying, out of 1,000, one seeks me. And out of the 1,000 that seek me, perhaps one knows me. And Master said, I heard him on a talk. He said, well, our percentages are better. And, you know, why wouldn't they be better? Look at everything that he's given us. And he said, I could take 5 of the most restless type of boys and give them Kriya. And in 5 years, if they do it in the way I tell them, that's the thing. Do it in the way that I tell them. I can make saints out of them. And Swami Sri Teswarji said, forget the past. Everything was improving. Everything will improve if you're making a spiritual effort now. That's the most important thing. And then there were disciples of Master, many. I don't know them all, but at least we know some that Swamiji said that he announced at a Kriya that Rajasi is liberated. Master announced it just to everybody there. And Swamiji asked Master when he was 22 years old, he said, will I find God in this lifetime? And Master said, yes, but don't think about it. Wow. I mean, he had just started with Master. Master told him, yes, but don't think about it. Then there was Sister Gyanamata, and Master said she was liberated, and she was ill in bed for 20 years. But she would write the other disciples. She would serve Master. She sat in a chair, did energization. She did the best she could do. And he said she found God. And then he said that there was some fellow, I think it was, I can't remember the name. I don't want to give the wrong name, but one of the disciples who was always in trouble, getting trouble of this or that. And Master said one day, even you will find God. He says, I don't even know how, but Divine Mother says it's so, so it must be so. So how do we know? I mean, are you going to be the person to go into samadhi by yourself? Are you going to lift up your kundalini on your own? Are you going to go into the spiritual eye by yourself? Are you going to be absorbed and owned by yourself? Are you going to open up all your chakras by yourself? Of course not. This is up to the guru. So we do the teachings to open ourselves. And I love Master said there was, Dr. Lewis would come to him and he would say, give me samadhi, give me samadhi. And Master said, you're just not ready for it. And he just kept telling Master, asking him, give me samadhi. Master one day looked at him really strong. He said, can you take it if I gave it to you? Doctor said, no, I can't do it. I mean, really, could you take it? Absolutely not. And so what we're doing in meditation is we're cooperating with grace. We're opening ourselves. We're strengthening ourselves. We're bringing in more prana. We're energizing. We're magnetizing ourselves. We're turning our cup up to receive God's grace. And Master would say, there was one man, he said he wanted to drink the whole lake of God's bliss, but he could only drink 3 glasses of water. And I think a lot of people at the 3 glasses of water stage, but even so what? Get to the 6 glasses of water. I mean, just keep, the point is, it's really up to the guru. Our efforts, 25%, means 100%, give your all to it. This can wait, that can wait, but my search for God cannot wait. Be sincere. Don't come and, this nice prasad, I like the company. I mean, people need to be meditating. You have to take the time really to do the practices. 25% is Guruji's good karma that he's giving. And 50% is God's grace. And I think in the final analysis, we have to just live in joy. I mean, really, what a wonderful life we have. That's what I think all the time. What a blessing. I'm so grateful. I mean, what a beautiful life. So many guru bhais, so many centers, Ananda centers to go to, online classes and all the books and the beautiful music and to have Swamiji who guides us and all the masters and all the gurus, I mean, just all the techniques. My God, Master said, if you did 1/100th of what I've given you, 1/100th, you could find God. We just have to give the focus and determination and steadfastness and loyalty. But also there has to be a joyfulness that it's up to my guru. I'm going to do my part. And whatever happens at the end is up to him. Like that man who his guru told him, Swamiji told us the story. His guru told him to carry wood for the stove and everything in the kitchen. And he didn't let him come into the satsangs. He just, his work was outside carrying the wood. And the man one day is carrying the wood and he just, some of his top knot got caught in the hair, got caught in the wood. And he saw his hair, all his hair had turned gray. Sometimes you wonder about that, you know, his hair had turned gray. And he said, God, I've been carrying wood all my life. He just was doing save all his life. And he said, I haven't gotten anything. And right then he started weeping. The guru rushes out and he holds the tears. And he says, if you only knew what you have achieved. And he touched him and that man went into ecstasy. So how do you know? My goodness. I mean, you just have to have the right spirit, the right attitudes all the time. And then there was the disciples who were with their guru, Sri Chaitanya, I believe it was. And yeah, and they were all asking, when will I find God? When will I find God? And this one, he said to one, oh, you 300 lifetimes, or you 5 lifetimes, whatever, you 1 lifetime, you 2 lifetimes. He came to his foremost disciple and said, and then the foremost disciple said, Guruji, when will I? He said, oh my gosh, 1,000 lifetimes. And all the other disciples, they were so sorry for him. And the disciple walked out onto the porch. And then after a little bit later, the other disciples walked out to comfort him. And he was just in ecstasy, dancing in joy. And they said, brother, have you not heard what the master said? It's going to take you 1,000 lifetimes to find God. And he says, brothers, dance with me, rejoice with me. Have you not heard? The guru said, I will find God. And what else do you need? Master's told us, you just have to work. You can't sit on the couch with your feet up. Get to work and know that that promise is always there. I'm going to close with a beautiful story that I read from this book, A Master's Boyhood Life. It's short because I don't have much time, but you can get the book and read it yourself. This is on Master and his little friend, Vibhuti, seeing Krishna. Do you think we might see the Lord as the prophet Krishna? Vibhuti asked. Why not? Sri Krishna will surely come tonight. Tonight? Mukunda's companion repeated, tonight. He was wonderstruck at this newborn faith in his heart. The boys began to chant, their faces suffused with peace. Thoughts of the world, of the day's events, of people seen and things done soon vanished from that room. The stars came out of hiding, danced quietly for a time, then fled before the rising moon. One by one, they reached a safe haven behind the housetops. The people of Calcutta, one by one, found rest and sleep. Hours passed. Still, the young boys sat, their hearts fixed on Krishna, Lord of Hindustan. Softly, Mukunda sang again of his love for Lord Krishna. Vibhuti joined him, his eyes overflowing with tears, chanting, then meditating, then chanting again. The two boys passed the night. It was almost dawn when Vibhuti spoke hesitantly. Mukunda, I'm afraid we were wrong. Sri Krishna hasn't come. I don't believe he will come now. He will come, Mukunda replied. Sit still, keep trying. They meditated another hour. At last, Vibhuti sighed. What chance is there? The dawn is breaking. Let's get some sleep. You sleep if you like, but if I die trying, I will sit here till he comes. Mukunda spoke calmly, but with iron determination. More minutes passed. Suddenly, Within his forehead, Mukunda beheld a wondrous vision. Krishna, walking on soft clouds of gold. Krishna, in his sweet smile of heavenly peace. Krishna, his lotus eyes full blown with love, softer than jasmine blossoms, dispelling the darkness of inner night. I see him. Mukunda cried, I see him. I see him. The moon of Gokula. It can't be true. You must be imagining it. Vibhuti's voice yet betrayed a note of renewed hope. You shall see him yourself. Mukunda reached out and struck his friend gently on the chest. I see him too. Vibhuti cried, I see him too. What bliss welled up in their hearts. Gratefully, they thanked the Lord for his wondrous visitation. Vibhuti's gratitude was mixed with tears. Never, never again would he doubt God's loving kindness. Om Shanti Shanti. Natendra, I'll invite you on screen.
Yes, Dhyanaji, thank you so much for the wonderful story, Dhyanaji. I'll just share my screen for the questions. The first question, Dhyanaji, is I have meditated a lot of years, but I don't feel that I'm making a lot of progress. So how can I find out whether I'm making progress or not?
I mean, think of Ram Gopal Mazumdar, my God. I mean, he said he meditated for 20 years, 18 hours a day in a secluded cave. Then he found a more secluded cave and he meditated for 20 more years, for 24 hours a day or something like that, 22 hours a day. I mean, then he said, still don't feel like I found God. And Master said, oh my goodness, you meditated 45 years and you still don't think you found God? And Ram Gopal Mazumdar said, what is 45 years? An infinity. I mean, so think about it. People say, I've been going 20 years, 10 years. I came on the path, but nothing's happened. I mean, it's lifetimes and lifetimes of, but service and joy and satsang. And I think, why think about the time? Think about the joy. Why think about the time? So are you making progress? I think if you feel more love in your heart, if you love God, if sometimes you feel so overwhelmed that tears are flowing down your face, if you enjoy the spiritual company of other Guru Bhais, you enjoy more going to the Sangha than to the mall and in the movies. I mean, these tell the story, don't they? If your face looks better. I mean, I was at the airport the other day and I met this pilot and I was talking to her. I said, I'm so glad to see more women pilots. And she said, oh, I'm so glad to meet you because your face looks good. She said, what creams do you use? I said, I don't think it's the cream. I said, I think because I meditate. She says, oh, I use this particular cream. I said, well, meditation will give you more than a cream. So if you start looking better, then you can just know that, yes, God is filling your whole brain. He's coming through your eyes, through your smile, through your voice. He's there with you. Better, isn't it better to affirm it? Even if you don't know, just say, he's with me all the time. And you will soon feel that's absolutely the truth of the matter, as Master said.
Thank you, Guruji. We have a live question. If the path is so long, then how do we remain focused on one guru and one technique rather than get wavered?
Satsang and seva. Serve the Guru. Master said to be in tune with me, serve my work. So he knew people would be going hither and yon. So find seva and be with your Guru Bhais. I mean, I've been saved from many a disaster by Guru Bhais who said, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? That's not in tune with Master. How could you do that? And then you think about it and you go, absolutely, they're right. So, and reading the books and, being in the company of your Guru Bhais will take you a long way. Even when you're down, they might be up, and they'll help you to keep focused. So, yeah, you need satsang. And the best satsang is with God and Guru. Keep Master in your mind, Om Guru, chant to him. When you meditate, feel he's with you. When you're walking outside, feel Divine Mother's walking with you, walking through you. Let's just keep God japa, keep God in your mind all the time, as much as you can.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. One final question. How can I change bad habits and wrong attitudes because they keep hanging around?
I would say learn to behave, like Swami Yukteswar said, and also meditate, meditate, and meditate. So, if you do the practices, the other things start falling away. That's what I found. If you focus on this week, I can't be angry. This week, I got to be more positive. Now, this week, I'm going to work on being nice to my neighbor next door when I really don't like him because he parked his car in my driveway. Now, this, people go on and on, but what you find after you come out of a kirtan, I just came from Chandigarh. Wow, we had some powerful kirtans over there. How do you feel? You feel so uplifted. You're not going to go punch somebody after a kirtan. After you come out of a meditation, your meditation in the morning, you don't go arguing with your wife or your husband or your child. You just feel so happy. Somebody will come say something. You say, it's okay. Isn't it? Don't worry. It's all right. Just talk to me later. Isn't it so? So do the practices and you will find that. And take them with you. Do a little bit of Hong Sa in the car if you need to, or you get upset at work, go outside, do some double breathing, tense and relax your body, mentally chant Om Guru, carry a picture of Master with you, play the music in your car of Ananda, play the chants when you're walking. There's so many things you can do. And you'll find that it becomes your whole life then. That's the focus. This can wait, that can wait. But my search for God, it's not going to wait. I think you have that in your mind. Everything will go well. And one day, yes, we will find God. Am I worried about that? No, not at all. I'm just busy doing what Master gave. He should be worried about the other. So let him save you. Let him liberate you. You do your part and he'll do his as well. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Natendra. Bye-bye.